Good morning from the Lake District. We're in Kendal this morning at Podder and Wren, grabbing 2 coffees and a little croissant before we head on the road. We're actually heading a little bit south today towards the Yorkshire Dales, but Sean will talk you through all of the route. But first, coffee.
We've been on the road for about 10 minutes now, and we are leaving the Lake District now, and we're heading over to the Yorkshire Dales. The landscape's starting to change a little bit already, isn't it? It's a bit softer than it was before.
Yeah, we've got these green hills all around us and a big motorway to the right of us.
Yeah, I think that's the M6, isn't it? I think that is a big one. I don't know if we're just scooting on there for 5 minutes. We might be.
No, there's a small B road along it. I think that's what we're
okay. Is that what we're taking? That's good.
Yeah.
It's getting a bit nippy, isn't it, Em, up here?
It really is. We're just approaching the national park. We're about, I'd say, 15 kilometres away now. But the road to it, spectacular. Great views all around.
It is, isn't it? We've gained quite a bit of altitude here again, and I think we'll probably be able to see the Lake District in the distance. And we're heading into the Yorkshire Dales now, and it is feeling a little bit more like the Dales. We've got these little roads, these dry stone walls, which are quite typical of the area. So we should be there very shortly. Got a few camper vans, which means we're going in the right direction. Well, like you say, this little road here is really good, isn't it? It's tiny, and it just skirts along this little ridge line. And I think we're heading towards that blue sky there.
Oh, I hope so.
We're about to bear left, I think. Currently riding on the Long Causeway. That's what the name of this road is, apparently. And this should take us into the Yorkshire Dales in a couple of minutes. We're just heading up over this crest, and I'm hoping that we get a great view of the area. What do you reckon, Em? Do you think we'll get a good one?
I think so. Should get our vista now.
Not quite yet. Maybe the next one.
I didn't realise this area was so barren.
It is, isn't it?
Considering we're not far from Manchester now, one of the biggest cities in the UK.
That's a good point, isn't it? Yeah, because like when we fly into Manchester, all you can see is like, well, buildings, isn't it? Houses,
Yeah.
The motorway and stuff. But if you were to fly over here, it looks like there's so much space. It's beautiful. Got a few bikers up ahead of us as well, enjoying this road today. It's a Tuesday morning today, so it's pretty empty.
We have arrived at the Yorkshire Dales and greeted nicely with a sign. I do like it when they have a sign at the start of these.
Yeah, it's a good one. This one's got a ram's head on it, so I'm guessing, well, I can see them from here already, and they're all dotted on. Looks like they're all dotted on the horizon there.
So this is the plan now for this afternoon. We'll be riding the Yorkshire Dales and then onto another national park again later this evening, aren't we?
Yeah, after the Yorkshire Dales, we'll be going over to the Peak District, and we'll be riding the Snake Pass sometime today as well.
All right, so we better start this. Actually, are you okay? Your eye is watering.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of hay fever.
Okay.
It's not that I'm getting all emotional about crossing into the Yorkshire Dales. I'm hoping it's going to pass soon. So we turned right just before the Tannin, which looks like a great stop for a cup of tea, a bite to eat and lunch and stuff. It's quite a popular pub to stop for lunch there, but we're not hungry at the moment, so we've carried on. So we've turned right down this road, which is going to take us straight through the middle of the park.
Oh, it's cold today.
It is, isn't it? It's dropped down to 10 degrees up the top there. So passing through a small little, what would you say, this like a little farmstead,
Yeah.
These are all
Post box.
farmers. But these rocks, these stones, is very typical of the Yorkshire Dale area. They're like a softer stone, aren't they? A bit more sandy colour. Which is quite interesting when you pass through the different regions. When you have like the slate areas where all the houses are built out of the local rocks. So yeah, we're going to pass through a few more little villages on the way here, and miles of these dry stone walls.
So much effort went into these walls.
There is, isn't it? That one's even got a house in it. Like he's built his wall up to his house. Like, you see some of these fields are sectioned off quite small. You'd think if you were having to build these gigantic walls, you might make your field a little bit bigger.
I wonder if they walled them off and then like sold the land within the walls, so it was like a way of parceling off your land.
Could have been like rent off a bit of, that's your field, that's mine, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, would,
you know, like
could be a thing.
Landlord.
Oh, that's
type.
a steep one. Look at that one.
Yeah.
No, you might be right there. We're also guessing in the past maybe the smaller farms were busier than they are today, where it's got a little bit more commercialised.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Because you see a few of these farm buildings are actually closed down, aren't they? Or they're purchased by bigger ones.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just a little bit too remote. Lovely houses though. There's this little village of Keld. Have they actually got a pub in this one? It's a cafe now. That's nice.
It's closed, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Hotel looks busy though.
Yeah, good spot for it. It's crazy to think how towns that size were big 100 years ago.
Yeah, they were probably bustling, weren't they, with probably workers coming in to help with the farms. Right, we're heading up here. So this one is BUTTERTUBS PASS.
Okay.
We might have been on this one.
Where that gets it named from?
I'm not sure, but we might have been on this one before. Do you remember we stopped somewhere and there was like, it wasn't really a cave, but it was like a big hole in the floor?
Ah, yes.
Just about.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, the crazy sheep.
Excuse me. Thank
That's where
you.
you're going down there.
Oh wow, are we going all the way up to the top there? That
Yeah,
looks
that's
super
right.
steep.
Yeah, that's the little pass they've got. Yeah, there it is, that little cliff bit there.
We are in Wensleydale, which is a cheese that is well known from the Wallace and Gromit TV show. It's a kids cartoon, if you don't know it, about a man and his dog.
That's true.
And they love Wensleydale and crackers.
Well, you summed that up well, didn't you?
Well, it's true.
It is. I've never been through here before. Is this town called Wensleydale, or is it something else?
I think it is. No, I think this is Wensleydale. Well, technically this is Upper Wensleydale.
Oh, right. Got to be specific.
Oh, that grocery store looks awesome. Elijah Allen and Son.
It's a busy little place today here. Is it market? It's market day.
Get your woolly jumpers here.
We're selling many of them today. It's quite warm. It's warmed up down here. It's 18. I feel like we stopped in that cafe before on the right.
I can't remember.
I recognise it.
You just went past 2 chippies as well, you know.
No, I've had enough. I don't feel like chips today. I've had enough.
It's even got to you 3 packets of chips in 3 weeks, and you've done your cravings for the next 5 years.
Well, that almond croissant thing I had this morning was that's put me off food for the rest of the day. That's sat quite heavy. We had Yorkshire tea in our house growing up. What were you? What tea did you have, Em?
We were PG.
Oh, you were PG, a bit, little bit weaker.
We were posh. Comparative.
No, Twinings was posh.
Yeah. Or Waitrose Own. They were posh as well.
Well, yeah, Yorkshire tea. There's a good brew with the Yorkshire tea.
If you don't know what we're talking about, in the UK, your family basically has a tea brand, and that's what they buy every single week. And you do not stray from this tea brand for the rest of your life or risk losing your family.
Yeah. And people do judge you by what tea you drink.
Absolutely. It's like, what football team do you support? What tea do you drink? They're the same thing. The other one is, you might not be able to agree on what tea bag is the best, but we all make the tea the same way. Water, then the milk. If anyone tells you it's any different, if there's any Americans watching, you do not put the milk in first. The milk does not touch the tea bag.
I've seen people do that. I've kept quiet about it though.
No. Mm-mm. The other thing that a lot of British people do, that I didn't realise growing up was a bit strange, we'll have a cup of tea in the morning because we don't think there's much caffeine in it, and then we have a cup of coffee an hour later.
Yeah. You don't have coffee before bed, but a cup of tea, absolutely. Even though they've both got loads of caffeine in.
Here is the famous bridge here in the what region are we in now? We've just come out of the Yorkshire Dales.
I think we're just about in. I think we're still in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're just about in the Yorkshire Dales. Well, that's quite a iconic landmark in this area. And you can still, I presume, you can still take the train over that. It must be quite a nice trip through the Dales on the train.
Ribblehead Station.
Ribblehead Station.
Should get a nice view of it from this side in a second as we drive away. There it is.
I think they still run the steam locomotives through here, like as a tourist sightseeing train.
Ah, the one that you can have dinner on.
Yeah, I guess so, but they're a great piece of engineering. I love the steam trains.
So we're just skirting along the bottom of the Yorkshire Dales now, aren't we? Heading
Yeah,
south.
that's right. We're coming towards the end of them shortly. And then, as you say, we'll head further south after that to the Peak District. Well, we truly enjoyed riding through the Yorkshire Dales today. We've just pulled up in Skipton. There's a Tesco mega store here, big supermarket. So Em's jumped in there to go and get us something to eat. That'll keep us going for the rest of the day because we're going to head over to the Peak District soon and we're going to ride the Snake Pass Summit and also the Winnets Pass, which are two really iconic passes in this area. So join us in the next episode as we make our way to the Peak District.